Hey everybody, this is David, the Georgia photographer, and I'm doing this because, hey look, Eric Farmer came in. How you doing, Eric? Nice to see you this evening. I got a few minutes of free time, and I thought, hey, let's fire up the good old Livestream software and see how it goes. How you doing this evening? Are you the one that's in Finland or wherever it's at? I can't remember. One of you guys was overseas, and it was in the middle of the night when y'all logged into the first one. Josh Kelly B is in Helsinki. Yeah. Nice. Oh, Oklahoma. There's Bass Angler. All right, let's do this. Oh, good. I didn't have to do anything. Yeah. How y'all this evening? I'm just thought I'd do a few minutes of a live stream because I've got a little bit of free time. Are you a Braves fan? I was back in the 90s, early 90s, when Tom Glavine and what was that other boy's name? He was the young pitcher then. That's how I heard he just retired. Smoltz, whatever his first name was. John Smoltz, I think, was the new pitcher they had just hired. That's how long it's been since I was a Braves fan. You guys are awesome. Y'all know each other. I have to look literally right here to see the comments. They're over here. So if I keep looking this way, that's why. Yeah, I've got I watched a video tonight, and I'm gonna do a CNC blog, and it's gonna actually be a piece of that. I actually just got through recording it. You saw Monday. Are they any good now? I haven't watched them in 25 years. I don't know. I used to work for General Electric, and I worked night shift. Well, second shift technically is the evening shift. And we would go down to the lift truck shop where they worked on the heisters, and they would have it on the radio. We'd listen to the game on the radio. That's been a long time. But yeah, I watched a video. Nice. Good. I don't know anything about them now. Like I said, all of the boys that were playing then are retired now, if I had to guess. That's been a quarter century. Fort Smith, that's on the far other side of Arkansas. Dude, you're a long way from home. Well, not for you. But if y'all get an opportunity, go to watch. Hear me out. Go watch Tony and Chelsea's video they put up today on their Thursday podcast. What do they call that? Picture This. They did one on photography burnout. It's a good video, guys. Actually, like this video. They address a lot of key issues with people getting photography burnout, and it really hit home with me. It actually did. It was a really well done video. They did a little bit of homework. And they come. You'll see it. You'll see yourself, or you'll hear them talking about you. At least I did with me. It was kind of impressive. I normally don't pimp their channel because they're gear pushers, because that's how they make their living. But this podcast is really good. It's worth a listen. I haven't got all the way through it yet. I got 90% through it, and that about 65 or 70% through it, they switch over to how to get out of the burnout rut. And I was in the middle of that, and I decided I wanted to go and make some videos, so I went and shot some footage. And I put together my new GoPro rig. Now I'm in one of these little cases that supports the impedance coupler for the mic input. I bought this little jig. Oh yeah, let's see. I'm running ahead of you. There, what we got here? Better than a jerk. Jim Wheeler. I haven't watched any of his videos. I tried to watch the GFX 100 review. I couldn't watch it all. I made it 15 minutes. He repeated himself so many times in that video. Oh, it got to be to the point. I started counting, okay? And I was like, I'm done with this. Oh, but Kelly B says it. What is UX? I honestly don't know what UX is. Urban exploration? No, because that's a design. I don't know what UX is. I apologize. But yeah, um, my business that I own, there's segments of it I'm burnt out on, and really aren't isn't. I'm not even interested if it does well or not. The other parts of the business I'm really interested in. So it's kind of nice to have a business where it has multiple facets. Because then if I get tired of this one, I'll just move over to this one for a while and focus on this one. And then when I get sick of doing this one, I'll move over here and work on this one. But with the photography, oh no, he's after Jason Lanier again. Oh, can he not let that go? He's gonna get sued over that so bad. There's a thing called defamation of character and slander, and if you ain't got proof to back these things up, dude, you can lose some money. Civil court is expensive, especially if you lose. That's not a smart thing to do. Dale Murphy, yeah. John Smoltz and Greg Maddox and Tom Glavine. I remember them. It's been a long time. Yeah, but I noticed something popped up on my feed from Jason Lanier about some girl, apparently one of the models he works with, and but I didn't watch it. Oh, good lord, Ken's getting sued by Jason as we speak, and rightfully so. If he can't back up these very outrageous claims that he's making about him, yeah, you don't say things in a public venue where you have an audience of over 100,000 people, and then it can go viral on the internet about a person's character without concrete proof. Yeah, that's foolish. That's just foolish. I would never do that. Go watch Jason's Land. He's accusing him of being a wow. Man, that's sad. Long Rider says, I'm here because Bass Angler made me. Oh, Bass Angler's pretty persuasive. I'll just say that. Yeah, I'll have to go see this Jason Lanier video now. Just curious about that. Yeah, I liked his videos when he was a smaller channel, when he was actually, talking about lenses and talking about the poor man's trinity. That's where my lens choices, a lot of them in my early days come from, was from Ken. Is he has good solid advice. And it didn't take long to do my secondary research to figure out he wasn't blowing smoke. He does have, dude. When he claims he's got hundreds of lenses, he ain't kidding. He does. He has them. And but sad to say that he's kind of over. He stepped. He crossed the line. Just that's it. Hmm. Oh no, Long Rider's a Sony shooter. All right. I'm gonna talk real loud. Hopefully the mic will keep up, and I'll go to the storage bin. And I'm gonna. Oh look, the GoPro's been powered on all this time. Look at this. There you go, Long Rider. Yeah, I have a Sony too. It's an old A7 too, and it still works as long as you're kind of careful with her. She'll take pictures. Yeah, Richard's Outdoor World says it best. Yeah. Yeah. This camera takes phenomenal photos. A lot of times it's got the 50mm f1.8 on it right now. I have two Sony. Well, I have technically three. I got the kit lens that came with the camera, but it's jacked up. If you go watch my video about the 24-70 Zeiss lens I bought for this, you can see in the beginning I show you what's wrong with the kit lens that I used when I first got it. I bought the 51.8 in Hawaii because it was cheap. They have a bunch of, like, Best Buy has these open box deals with Sony lenses, and I don't know what the deal is with that, but I got it for like $110, $125. It wasn't much, so I picked it up and used it like this for a while. I didn't have the battery grip till I got back home. I do like the battery grip because it gives you two batteries in here. I've got, that's worth the battery grip alone, because with a Sony, you need the two batteries. Now, you don't get a third in the frame because it's got this housing that goes up to make the electrical connections, but you do get an extra battery operational. But this camera's got IBIS issues. If I transport it in a camera bag and it bounces around in the trunk of the car, the IBIS hangs, and it hangs as a slight tilt. One of the corners gets in a bind, and the only way to fix it is to beat the bottom of the camera nearly to death to shake it loose. Hey, Grant. We're still on for Friday morning. But Skelly tried to help the angry photographer and basically got blocked. It's like he wants to get sued. That's messed up. Nice. Dude, that 1-400 sounds like a bomb. I mean, yeah. There's always the 2-500 Nikkor super zoom. Yeah. I run this with the 1.4x teleconverter, get my 700 millimeters. If you're shooting outdoors with that lens and you run the 1.4 teleconverter, it actually works really well. Oh, bring Grant up to speed. Was talking about how Ken's made the mistake of accusing Jason Lanier of pedophilia. It's like, dude, the guy just don't know when to stop. Yeah. Now that's an awesome lens, and so is where's it at? It's in there. That 500 millimeter mirror lens I bought. To be a manual lens, that thing takes phenomenal photos. It does have that donut bokeh, if you can deal with that. Oh, I ain't worried about it. We're all in here to have fun. Let's see if it'll tell me. No. I'm moving my mouse out of the way. But yeah, that 500 millimeter manual focus lens, I was using it with that XT3, and it was producing incredible photos. But since neither one of them are stabilized, I was having a lot of camera shake problems. So what I'd end up doing would be sitting it on the roof of the car, or sitting it, fold up a t-shirt or something and set the lens on that so it would smooth it out where it wouldn't be vibrating, or put it on a tripod. And the focus time is so slow because it's got super shallow depth of field since it's fixed f8. Unless you're taking pictures of not very fast objects, it was hard to get things in focus. Good to see you, Eric. Y'all have a good one. Thank you for dropping by. But yeah, that I had to do a bunch. I'm gonna jump tracks on you now. This is my new cage for the GoPro for my video rig, and what I've had to do here, I'll take the variable ND filter off. You buy these little plastic housings off of Amazon that's got this storage compartment in it, and they don't have the filter thread like my little blue aluminum machine cage has. And did you legit meet up with Jason Lanier? Did you go on a photo shoot with him? Yeah, are you serious? I mean, he seems like a fine guy. Yeah, I mean, I don't see anything about his videos. I mean, who you don't know what people do behind closed doors. You don't know. So, like I said, until I know different about him, I've got my opinion of Jason Lanier is he's just another photographer trying to earn a living, you know. But get back on subject from the derailment. But yeah, Long Rider, if you want to talk about that. Oh, neat. Link. Where's the link? Drop the link. I want to say the video. Definitely. I'm interested. He's from California. What was he doing in New York? Ain't Coney Island in New York or New Jersey? Oh, okay. So it's his video. Interesting. What I've done with this, yeah, I'll be looking for it. Okay. But what I had to do is you can buy this as an ND filter or a filter attachment that goes directly on the GoPro. All right. So this is machined aluminum. The housing's plastic. To get my filter thread on the housing, it wouldn't fit because the GoPro goes inside the housing. So what I wound up doing was I wound up fixturing this thing up in the milling machine, taking about 70 thou out in both width and height with a 1/4 inch end mill to clearance it enough. Then I literally JB welded it on. So it's just glued on with high strength epoxy. I mean, you ain't gonna pull it off at this point. And now I can actually run my filter threads on this thing, and it's lighter than the aluminum one, and it stores that adapter so cleanly. So if anybody is wanting to run one of these little setups similar to this, I can mill out your housing if you want to send it to me. I'll be happy to. It didn't take me 10 minutes to mill this out. And, you know, if you want to send it to me, I'll even glue them together for you. It's not a big deal. But yeah, I've got my new GoPro rig set up, and it's a little taller because of this hinge deal, because of the GoPro mount. It elevated it a little bit more, but I'm okay with it. But yeah, it's a little more subdued. Yeah, let's see. Long Rider, is it cool if I use your first name? I think Jason Lanier is doing some East Coast workshops this month. Oh, I remember Jason and Ken made that video together. Yeah. Yeah. And when you watch that video, Ken is all nice. It's kind of weird, isn't it? Yes, I am a machinist by trade. Technically, my history is kind of funny. I took machine shop in high school because my dad took machine shop when he first got out of the Marines in the early 70s. And I was kind of infatuated with the thought of making things out of metal. So when I was in high school, they still had the trade school part that you could do. And you could actually put your hands on real South Bend lathes and real Bridgeport milling machines. You could actually make stuff and get hurt and all that stuff. So I took machine tool in high school for 4 years. Then I went to trade school. Since we didn't have a lot of money, I didn't go to college. So I went to trade school. And in trade school, they had this program called electronics, and it was a budding industry in the late 80s. And VCR repair shops were the thing. Everybody was fixing VCRs and doing TV repair was kind of on the decline. It was slowly headed out, but computer repair was starting on the uptick. So electronics was a booming deal. So I took electronics in trade school. Immediately got out of trade school and went to work in industrial maintenance as an electronic technician. Did that for the next 16 years and pretty much hated every day of it. While I was doing the job, I was working for GE, I was so good at electronics and troubleshooting electrical circuits that I had a lot of free time. So I would literally go over to the tool and die shop, which was right next to where my work area was, so I could see all of my equipment from the tool and die shop. And I would hang out with the master tool and die makers, and I would learn everything they was doing. I was completely infatuated with what they were doing. So I would spend my time over there learning from those guys, Carl Suttles and Eddie O'Neill, and you know the masters in the tool and die shop. And I learned how to do machine work from them. Basically, over that 12 or 14 years, I worked second shift at GE. So after about that period of time, somewhere in around about the 2000 range, we decided I wanted to work for myself. That's a great idea. You've never worried about where your next check's coming from and why you have a surplus of money in the same week until you work for yourself. But we saved up the money and built a machine shop. And when it began, it was just me. I did the work. Teresa did the bookkeeping, my wife. And then we got done with that. Well, we did that for about a year and work started picking up. I hired in who's my current shop foreman. He's been with me ever since the second year. And yeah, I've had Scotty working for me nearly 20 years now. Well over 15. Anyway, I hired him for a 2-week job like 16 or 17 years ago. And now he's my shop foreman. And we currently have 8 or 9 people. I'd have to go through the list of the names to count them all. But yeah, it's been a real roller coaster ride. And hands down, I love machine work over electrical work any day. I know how to do electrical work and I understand what I'm looking at when I look at electronics, but I don't like it. I just never have had that desire like I did with machine work. Let's see here. All the shots were blown out. I ran a CNC for a while. Thanks for the comment, Bass Angler. I have a Haas, a Fidal, a Miltronics, and 2 Doosan Lynx LS220YCs. They have C-axis on them as well. That's true. Find what you love to do and you'll never work a day in your life. There's a lot of truth in that. I walked 70 yards to work and drink coffee on my commute. That was a big perk because I was driving nearly 40 miles one way to GE. I like Haas's interface when it comes to machine tools. Haas's interface is very user-friendly, and once you kind of learn your way around and how the little blocks are broken up into segments, you can do things really fast with a Haas, and I like it for that. But I like our Fidal because it's a little older. It's a CSC 88 control, which is an older control, but for manual machining, it's super easy, super easy. And the old Miltronics mill out back. It's a real easy to work with machine if you're just doing like piecework. It'll accept programs. You can do program work, but our old Miltronics mill, we call it the maintenance mill because it don't have a tool magazine. You have to hand change the tools. It's pneumatic drawbar, but you still have to put them in one at a time. Wow. Yeah, GE is now, well, no. Yes and no. GE isn't technically the owner of that factory in Lafayette anymore. It's now owned by the Haier Corporation, which is a Chinese holding group, conglomerate, whatever. It's Chinese owned now by a company called HAIER, and they bought the entire GE appliance division, including the name. They own GE Appliances is owned by Haier now, which is weird. Dude, you can't get those kind of drill bits anymore. You need to look, you need to like collect those. If it's the ones I'm thinking of, those are vintage. But yeah, I've got this thing out. I actually took a lens cap off of another old junk lens and stuck it in this one. But the old Minolta X700. This is actually a really nice camera from the late 80s. It has aperture priority and program mode. I can get it up here and get the glare off of it. You can see it. You can, to go manual, you just pick your shutter speed, or no, that's your shutter speed. Your aperture set on the lens, and then you ISO is of course by the film, but it also has up to 2 stops above and below here for exposure compensation. It has an exposure lock. This little switch on the front, if you push it down, it's a little spring-loaded plunger down. See that? If you hold it down, that does an AE lock. So what you do is you take this finger, you like half press the shutter button, and it'll choose a shutter speed in aperture priority or program mode for the exposure of the center of the frame. Then you push this down while it's doing that, and it'll lock that. And then you can recompose, and it'll hold that exposure and let you fire the shutter. It's kind of slick. And then if you take that same switch and click it up, let's see if I can get it, show you. See how it pops up? You pop it up, that's a 10-second timer built into the same switch. And it's got the usual remote release and the little coupling port for flash and all that. And then that's the stop down button. So if you want to stop down the lens, let's see if you can see it. You can't see, but it'll stop down the aperture on the lens with that button, let you see the exposure. But when I got it, it's still got the protective plastic film on the bottom. I don't know if you can tell it or not, but it still has that clear plastic film. But when I picked it up, I screwed the battery door off, and it looked brand new. Whoever owned it before, this older lady had it. She said it was her mother's, and she didn't know how long her mother had it. But when they got done using it, they pulled the battery. So the battery ain't corroded at all. It's like brand new. Even the flash that came with it, they took the batteries out, so there's no corrosion. Yeah, dude, this thing takes beautiful photos. Well, it seems to be taking beautiful photos. I'm up to 14 frames currently on it. But, dude, I forgot how light film cameras were. This thing, it's like nothing. It's almost like a toy compared to a digital camera. But yeah, I've got the 50mm f1.4 coming for it. I found it on eBay the other day. Nice. You got a Canon AE1? Dude, I'll tell you, Long Riders picked up that Canon AE1. Those are good. Those are great cameras. They're not good cameras. They're great cameras. They're like legendary. I'll just be honest with you. They're like the F3 Nikon, the F2 Nikon, the AE1. The AE1 program are like legendary film cameras. But there's that Facebook Marketplace. The Chattanooga area is rife with AE1 packages. So like everybody had one. There's a person who got a Pentax K1000 that was real cheap, like $25, but I can never seem to link up with them to pick it up. That's where I found this. I basically bought the lens. I wanted the lens, and it came with the camera. And when I seen that it wasn't corroded, I've got a bunch of these little batteries. I bought a whole pack of these batteries when I was messing with that Yashica. I dropped the battery in, and it worked perfectly. I couldn't believe it. Hello, Maxim Mirror. How you doing? Thank you for stopping by. We're just chatting camera stuff. Yeah, good. Do you shoot film? We're just sitting here. We'll get all nostalgic. I picked up a Minolta X700 for almost nothing. I mean, dude, that came with, it didn't come with any film. I had to root around in the refrigerator to find film. Yes, I'm one of those people that stores their film in the fridge. But shot film for 40 years. Oh, he is. Max is a film god. But I actually got the original owner's manual. Let's see. I got a really, really grungy looking camera bag. But inside the camera bag is some really interesting finds. Max is the film king. Oh, so you're the guy. Okay. Come with a legit Minolta flash. And there's zero, well, y'all can't see down in there. There is zero corrosion because they pulled the batteries. Brilliant. It's like a brand new flash module from 1990. I'm going to put batteries in it, see if it'll power up. The capacitor may not be any count, but thank you, Maxim, for dropping by. I really appreciate it. This was kind of a spur of the moment thing. I didn't like announce that I was doing a live stream tonight. I just had a little free time, and I thought I'll set the computer up and crank one up. I appreciate you stopping by. Give us the lowdown about what you did with the film industry. This guy's incredible. If y'all don't know, because Bass Anglers kind of give me a little bit of the background on him. Oh, that's the flash diffuser for the flash module. Still in the box. Oh. Let me see. Is this lens an XD lens? This is an MD lens. It's not a XD. It's MD. So, but it does have the auto aperture control for program mode. If you set it for P, you lock the aperture, you dial it over to F22, and then you throw this little switch right. Let me get the light where y'all can see it. Dang, it's hard to do. There it is. Yeah. There's a switch right here, and you flip that switch, and that green tab shows up. There, I get the glare right. There it is. You lock that switch, and now the camera's in control of the aperture in program mode. But it's a nice lens. From looking through the viewfinder, it looks good and clear. It looks like good sharp glass. So Maxim was the custom black and white printer for a quarter of a century. Dude, the darkroom cookbook, wow. I wish I could find a copy of that book that was reasonable. I was trying to do some homebrew film developing here last summer. I bought a Kodak Brownie Target 620, and I was taking 120 film and going into the bathroom and blacking out the bathroom, and then in the dark rewinding it onto the 620 spools so I could run the 620 film. And I had a lot of fun with that little camera, but I was developing that film myself. And the 120 film is easier to get onto this film reel than 35 millimeter. I learned I had a hard time loading 35 millimeter film onto the reel, so I gave up on developing at home after that. But I need somebody that'll develop these films here, because I need them to be scanned in as digitals after the negatives are developed, so I can play with them. I can put them on the interwebs and such. I don't have a film scanner. That's what you use, magazine articles. Well, that's good information. It means it's out there. Do you still shoot film, or have you moved to digital? Because until recently, I didn't. I had my first real 35 millimeter interchangeable lens camera was a Yashica. What was it? An FX 103 program, something, 2 letters, 103 program is what it was. And it was a nice camera. It was a nice little camera. That was the one that I took the picture of my baby girl right at birth. That photo's floating right here, stuck to one of these refrigerators. But hey, quit being modest, Max. What was the chemical combination you come up with? I don't. Mainly because the materials I love to use are all gone. Oh, that's kind of cool. But yeah, I'm shooting Foma Pan action. Let's see here. This is 400 speed, 135, whatever that means. But Foma Pan seems to be good film. I like the Foma films. That's what I was using in my 120 film. I was buying it off of eBay from them. They put their film directly on eBay and you can buy it and they'll mail it to you. Yeah. To expand on something Maxim has said here, he's saying all his favorite papers that he printed on were gone. And apparently that's a big thing in the film world is when people, well, some people, when they die, their relatives will find all this photography gear and then they'll auction it or sell it or give it to somebody. And there's a little guy on YouTube, or he was about a year ago. It's called Forest Hill Film Labs, and he would go out and find these little collections of film photography stuff, and he would come up with papers and stuff that were impossible to get now, and that was a big thing for him. But nowadays, I guess you just choose what kind of paper you want your picture ink jetted on, huh? I haven't thought about that, just to tell you the truth. Ah, Skelly's got to go. Well, I've got dinner ready. Okay, well, maybe you should go eat. Richard's Outdoor World asks, how much TV do I watch as opposed to YouTube? I watch zero broadcast TV. I haven't watched broadcast television in probably 5 or 6 years of any consequence. It's exclusively YouTube now. I've gotten into the history guy. I like his channel. A little 5 minutes of history, sniglets of history that deserves to be remembered. I like his channel a lot. And of course, I'll hit the heavy hitters in the photography industry. I don't really watch Peter McKinnon anymore. His videos have started to become routine. And, you've seen one, you've seen them all. I hate to say it, but it's just hard for him to come up with fresh content, I guess, in Canada. It just doesn't seem like it's new stuff, and he does a lot of Adobe product stuff when he does his tutorials, because that's what he uses. And I don't use Adobe products. But yeah. I don't watch football. I got to go take pictures of something. Wow. Congratulations, dude. That's incredible. I bought Kodak brand stuff. Uh-oh. Someone texted me. What's that about? Oh, Greg Skaczynski. Friend of mine. Hey, look. It's Teresa.
David, I was so surprised you're still up.
This is live. Look at that.
You were usually always in the.
You got to wave.
They'll
be saying something here in a second.
Right now.
I'm not sleepy.
No, we were at the gym.
Yeah.
At the rock climbing. It was fun.
Yeah, there's 6 people currently on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's kind of neat. Look.
Hello.
Oh, and Sierra's here.
Hi.
There's my model using most of my photos.
Yeah. I don't photograph, although he has to delete a lot of them.
Oh, yeah. She's the one that basically took over the Sony.
Yeah. I like that one.
James Oliver says, hi, guys. The rock climber. They know who you are.
Yeah, that's me.
Yep. Yeah. I'll bring this up again. I'm going to be in Philadelphia. We're going to do a photo walk on July the 11th. Probably through the morning up till around lunchtime, and then we'll go somewhere and eat lunch. I've got the day kind of cleared for it, so I don't know how it's going to go. If we're having a really big time, I don't know how long we'll do it. Long rider, he jumped right on that June bug.
Let me tell him one more thing.
Okay.
It's his birthday.
Oh, no! You ain't supposed to tell him that part. I wasn't going to say nothing about that till after the photo walk. Yeah, really. What's this say? I used to have the mnemonics for developers in my head. 25102 was the one for D76. I used to split my developers into A and B combo to keep the reducing agent from oxidizing too fast. I don't know what a reducing agent is. I know about developer and fixture stinks like vinegar. Accelerator, restrainer, and B. I'm going to hit the big 5 in July. I'll be 50-year-old. Let's see here. I think I'm using, or I had. Let me see what this says on. I'll be right there. I'm looking. Let's see. What's this say on the jug? No, that just says fixture. I don't know.
Are you trying to find the developer?
Yeah, did it go bad?
Maybe.
Oh, yeah. Because it don't keep.
Yeah. We did it a while ago.
Yeah, it was last year.
Yeah. That's really
But
fun.
I have you beat by 10 years. He invented chemicals for the photography industry.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
Dude,
This guy's legit.
that's sick.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Bass angler's a lightweight 46. Baby's max. Oh. But yeah, that I think I was using D76 developer as well. I found it on Amazon. I looked up a chart to do Fomapan, whatever it was, film, and then found and cross-referenced that to what Amazon had for something. They mailed it to my door. I didn't even have to go check it. I got a little kit that's got the little black box where you just do the jar back and forth, and it come with all the stuff that you needed, and it worked pretty good. It did great on the 120 film. How'd you guys get into rock climbing? I got into it in the early 90s. But I only did it for a couple of years, kind of seriously in the 90s. I did caving and I did rock climbing some. And then it kind of waned. I did mountain biking after that. And that's how I got this weird collarbone that sticks up. Mountain bike crash, dislocated that collarbone. It never healed right. But then my gear I still have most of the rope down there and the rappelling gear, all the vertical ascenders and such. I sold my lead gear because I didn't use it. But then Sierra was born and she would climb everything. There's a photo of her over there somewhere of her sitting on top of the refrigerator raiding the candy jar.
How old was I?
And her diaper.
Yeah, she's still wearing her diaper.
I was too.
And it was impossible to get up there. There was no handles, but she was on top of the refrigerator. So, and then the day she climbed the lattice on the porch, she was probably 3.
Yeah.
That crap was scary. But she climbs better than a mountain lion. I think a mountain lion have trouble keeping up with her. Greg Skaz logged in. How you doing, Greg? Nice to see you. I see you found my live stream. Yeah, some guy that I know told me about this keto diet thing, and I started doing it, and in like 2 months, I dumped 25 pounds. Worked really well. Conventional pre-prison 86. Dude, James Oliver, you're 68. Dude, that's awesome. It's not the age, it's the mileage. That's what Bass Angler said.
My goodness, he's a really cute boy.
Oh, yeah.
That's for you, Greg.
We'll say that. That'll pop up in just a second. Give me a little water.
Water.
Yeah. Does a cup got anything in it?
A little water.
All right. Thanks. What's that?
Water.
I don't want hot water. There we go. Oh, how you gonna start keto and not tell me? It's a surprise. We did one called Optavia. Teresa did it before me, and it worked. Worked really well. Dude, I was dumping weight like crazy. As you know, I'm burning a lot of calories, but when you cut out all the sweet stuff, and you cut out the carbohydrates, the pounds just start melting off, and it really went fast. This stuff gets too involved for typing. If you wanted to bring me into the stream live sometime so you can ask specific questions, that would be the best way to do it. Okay, great. As soon as I learn how. No, it's the Maxim mirror. Let me see. Participants, pop out, chat, toggle times. I will probably have to come up with a different piece of software because honestly, I don't see a option. I don't see an option to do that, but I'll figure it out. And yeah, I would like to do that.
Greg lives close to Philadelphia. He could
Yeah, Greg, I'm gonna be in Philly. You know, isn't that close to Michigan? It's all up north, so you know it's like the same, right? So they're all like next door. You should be able to drive down to Philly in what, 30 minutes? Nice.
Can
All
everybody
right.
see what everybody's typing?
Yeah. The live stream is visible to all. Yeah. This is the old-fashioned way to do it. Most use OBS and something like Discord to do it now. Yeah, see, I'm new to the live stream thing. I don't know much about it. And, yeah, I don't even know what OBS is right now. This is way over my head. Have you ever been to Cherokee Valley to take photos? Thank you, Greg. I seen yours now. Don't know where Cherokee Valley is. Is that like the Cherahalla Skyway? 13-hour drive. It's like how far it is for me. Google Hangouts. Okay. Now I have done a live stream with a gentleman before that done it with Skype somehow. I did that one with him with Skype, but I don't know how I done it. I'll move this a little better. But yeah, we have access to Google Hangouts because I have a Google account, so that makes sense. Okay. No, I've driven down the Cherahalla Skyway some, but I haven't done any photos there. That's a good idea. That's a good location. I would also like to go up to the tail of the Dragon and photograph motorcycles in some of the curves. There's a lot of pro photogs go up there and photograph people in certain turns. The only problem is you got to be careful and not have one crash or slide into you while you're shooting their photo laying down, because they'll lay down on the ground to get the low angle, and then you come around, lean into the curve. You know, the motorcycle's laid all the way over with the road, you know, and they get that photo of you coming around the corner. It's pretty slick. But yeah, I'll do my homework, Maxim. I appreciate it. I really do. Huh. Wow. Yeah, I was I don't I've never been in law enforcement, but I've ridden the Tail of the Dragon once with my brother-in-law. It was a lot of fun. You know, we did it on Harley Davidsons, so we didn't go super fast. Those things are much heavier and a little more sluggish. The guys on the Rockets were going around us. The Ducatis and the GSXRs and all them boys, they would go by us and then go faster. We had a good time though. We went up and stayed in Pigeon Forge, so then we just rode down to Townsend and down up to the Tail of the Dragon from there. What's that? There's a scenic byway or something that goes down to that river, lake, whatever, and then you go down the Dragon to the bottom. Then we rode it right back. It was a lot of fun. Nice. Indians are nice bikes. I'm gonna open this in a new tab. There we go. My current photography, my goal is to build. I mentioned this once in one of my blogs, but my goal is to make a coffee table book, or one of them little e-zines of nothing but train related photos, like trains on bridges or overpasses or bridges passing over trains. And I'm trying to get it to where it's like passenger vehicles or, motor vehicles on one bridge with the train on the other. I found one sitting still the other day waiting on the engineers to rotate. The train had parked at an intersection, and I got that shot of it. It's that CSX blue and yellow one that I put in one of the videos. It's actually one of the thumbnails. Let's see. I'm gonna look at your photo project after the live stream is over, because I'm afraid if I click on the project, it'll shut down my stream. I don't want to risk killing the stream, but I will look at it. I've got it opened in a second. It says exercise walk master something, and then then it runs out. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this. I've been really digging the little Minolta. I don't know if Greg's still in here or not, but look, I got a Minolta X700. I got it for the cost of the lens. It works perfectly. I've been using it here lately to take a few photos. Yeah, I've just been, and it's like you start looking for those shots. You like the consistency starts, like it started out, it was just going to take pictures of trestles. That's what it started out with. And then I realized just the trestle's boring. It's just a bridge. So I wanted to get something to make it a little more interesting. Well, let's get a train on the trestle or people walking on the trestle. You know how patently dangerous that'd be. That'd be awesome to get people walking on the trestle. So, but I haven't seen that yet. But I did see, I didn't stop and get the photo, one of those maintenance pickup trucks. It's got the little wheels on the corners, driving over one day, but I didn't stop and get that photo. And I wished I had. It's it's an X700 MPS. The lens is an MD. I don't know. I would have to look and see. But it has, it's electronic. It's got a nice light meter system in it. It has program mode. So basically it's fully automatic. And their program mode is, it's high shutter speed priority program. It tries to get the highest shutter speed it can based on your film ISO versus the aperture. So it'll basically, it tries to balance it where you get the highest possible shutter speed, which is pretty smooth. There's no telling how many times this thing's going to cuckoo. It's got out of sync, and I need to take it apart and work on it. Max is excellent landscapes. I'll be honest with you, I'm terrible at landscape photography. This region doesn't have but just a few locations to get a broad landscape. So you have to kind of do what I nickname macro landscape, because you smaller, more condensed ones, because there's, it's such broken terrain. You can't get that broad vista like you can out west or off the top of a mountain. That's typically around here where people get their cool landscapes. They go up on mountaintops. But I don't know. I think it is, but it's a nice little electronic camera, man. And it's not heavy. That's what I like about it. It has a provision for a motor winder. Of course, I don't have it. They're on eBay you can buy this camera on eBay in like pristine condition for about $130 with a lens. And it's a toss up whether it's going to be the 45 millimeter f2 or the 50 mil f2. This one had the 50, and I've got two 45 mil f2s on two older ones. I've got a what's that SRT 101. I've got one of them, and then I've got another one that's like an even cheaper one. Both of them had 45 mils on them. Pretty slick little cameras. But yeah, I'm liking it. I'm really have. I've been carrying it everywhere, just trying to find something interesting to take a photo of. I took a photo of our church today. There's a huge cornfield right beside the church, and the corn's up and it's about to tossle. It's right at that point. So the corn's all like 5 or 6 feet tall. So I drove up the road from the church, and it goes up a grade of about 4 or 5 feet to the stop sign up, in the width of the cornfield. And then I stood up on the bed cover of the truck to where I could get above the corn, and you can see just the steeple and just the part of the roof line of the church with that cornfield. And I got a photo of that. I thought that looked pretty cool. Yeah. Once I finish this roll of film with the 50, I'm going to put the 45 on it and run it some. The 45 is even lighter because it's smaller. It's just everything about the lens is littler. But yeah, I'm gonna run it next. I actually am. That was the plan. Currently I got three rolls of that foam pan, and I'm gonna run one at 50 mil, then one at 45 mil, and then yeah. I like clocks. And then I was gonna run program mode with a roll, and then I was gonna send all 3 rolls down to a fellow in Atlanta that develops it and will scan your negatives and put them either on a flat thumb drive or a CD or something. He puts them on a drive of some sort, and then that way I could edit them or actually get them into a video.
I get ready for
Oh, yeah, it is pretty late, isn't it?
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a few more minutes. But I like the form factor of this kind of camera, and I like it in a digital too. Did not shift gears too much, but I do have the 50 millimeter f1.4 that fits this on the way. I got the confirmation from eBay on it. I buy most of my used lenses on eBay. If I can find them on there, I'll get them from them. But yeah, those 45 millimeter lenses, we adapted one to the Sony for a while and did portraiture with it, and it took beautiful photos. It doesn't like make it look wide angle. This one says it's 400 speed. Yeah, see here. I think I have some in here. I said I thought I did. Maybe I don't. What did I do with it? But let's see here. Here's the tab off the box. Get it turned where you can see it. There it is. I don't know if this is showing up backwards to you guys, but all the writing's backwards on it to me. But yeah. Profi line. I guess that means professional. Then it says action. Then it says 424 exposure. And then I'm not sure why it says 135. Hey, that's really what it does. All right. I've done got it out of sync now. There we go. Max wants to get a 43 dead normal lens. I tell you what I'll do, Max. like I said, there's a gentleman in Atlanta that does it, and then he scans the negatives. I don't have the negative scanner. I would do it here if I had a way of scanning negatives. I just don't have that access here. So what I'll do is I'll shoot 2 rolls on the same setting, and I'll have him develop one of them like that, one of them like he thinks it needs to be done. And then when he gets done with the way he thinks he should do it, I want him to scan them and then identify them in the folders, and then we'll look at them and we'll see which one we like better. But apparently I'm going to like what you're saying better than what he's going to do, because he's probably looking at some chart. I mean, that's what I was doing here. I wish that Forest Hill guy was still active. He hasn't uploaded to YouTube in a year or so. He had a device called a Jelbo, I think is what it was called. It was a little mechanized deal. It was like a sync assembly, and you did the whole developing op right there with it. It was a really nice system. He had a nice dark room he worked in, but he developed people's film and scanned it for them. But he was a real big film guy. He loved to do film haul videos. Rated at 200 and cut the development time 25%. All right. Interesting. Basically, you're saying it won't overdevelop the highlights so that they're blown out. Is that what you mean? Because see, there's a lot of language here that I don't really understand fully. Okay, excellent. That's really interesting. Yeah, I'm crap. What I need to do is write that down before it gets lost in the stream flow. There, 200. Now, when you say cut the development time 25%, do you mean reduce it 25%? Say take a 2-minute develop to 1 minute 30 seconds? Is that what you mean by that? Okay. All right. So I've got the note. Yeah. I will definitely pass this data along to that gentleman and see if he'll actually play nice and do that. Because expose the shadows, you develop the highlights. Interesting. That's neat. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. But yeah, I will definitely upgrade my live stream game so that we can bring in together, because like I said, this is all new to me. I'm used to filming it and then cutting it together in the software and then uploading it. So this is a new world. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that, because I want to see. I'm really looking forward to seeing what this camera produces, because it's kind of reignited my spark to shoot film. It's just fun. Excellent. So they'll listen. All right. I will definitely tell them that. Okay. Does that apply to like all of FOMA's films? Like if I bought their 800 speed, but I tell them to rate it at 400 and do the same thing? 'Cause that's good intelligence. That works with any film. Okay. Nice. So you can literally, nice. So any film speed, any brand of black and white film? Because I like the black and white films. I mean, color films, yeah, you can shoot color easily enough, but awesome. Yeah. Nice. I keep looking down here because I'm reading where Maxim Murr is making his comments, and it's like almost the entire string is him answering my questions. I do really appreciate your patience with me, and I really appreciate you coming on tonight and spending some time dropping all this knowledge on us like you have. This has been really nice. But yeah, y'all get a chance to come to Philadelphia on the 11th. We'll shoot photos. I'm gonna bring this. I'm gonna bring this little Minolta, and I'm gonna bring my Fuji. That's the cameras I'm gonna take. It has taught me a lot. Excellent. Excuse me. And I'm right now. I'm building the kit for Philadelphia, but it looks like it's going to be a mixed bag of brands. But yeah, I figure I have 15 years left, so now is the time for an experienced knowledge dump. It's called Write a Book. Publish it on Amazon and do it in a Kindle version. I've thought about the same thing about what I do in my machine shop, because I have so much that I've learned over the years, and if you don't teach it to somebody else and pass it on, it gets lost. Yeah. All of us, none of us are guaranteed tomorrow. You know, nobody knows the time nor place of their end. So we all just assume we got more days. Heard a preacher talking about that just the other day. You got 30, Max. You're coming back to Jasper a few more times. Oh, you're not getting out of it that easy, Maxim. We're going to have to go to Arkansas. Looks like maybe. See here, you're in Fort Smith. That's on the Oklahoma border, isn't it? Yeah, and that's true. Yeah, the people that did it, the people that shot black and white film because that's what they had, and they had to get good at it to get good results. All those people are dying out. Yeah, because now for lack of the honesty of it, people like me who didn't shoot black and white film, because when I was a kid, color film was becoming popular. So by the 80s, everybody shot color film. Nobody shot black and white except for either news journalists or people wanting to do genre stuff. Everybody wanted color film by then. I shot color film from the 80s through the 90s with that Yashica, and it was just that was what we bought. 800 speed Kodak Kodachrome, I want to say is what it was. 800 speed. I used 800 because it allowed me to shoot without flash indoors and get good exposure without a lot of long shutter speed. That was the reason I picked it most of the time. If I knew I was going to be outside, I'd pick 100 or 200, but most of the time I picked 800 for indoors. I like Kodak brand films. I would try the others, but they never seemed to give me the results that Kodachrome did. I don't know what it was about it, but it was some good stuff. Yeah. Y'all have any questions for me? I was at the tail end of the film era, and I was a printer from the early 80s until 2007. Wow. Yeah. So you remember when that one place out in the Midwest done the last roll of Kodachrome, and that because they did that documentary on it. I watched the documentary where there were some colleges that bought it up and carried it out there and done the whole deal where they photo documented the process. Yeah. Dwayne's, that was it. They were the last people to do it. Apparently the chemical process for that was real nasty. Nobody wanted to handle the chemicals. Yep. Thanks.
Hey, David,
Yeah.
you
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's time to sign off, guys. It's after 11 o'clock here. I gotta lay down and go to sleep. I gotta get up and go to work in the morning. I've really appreciated it. It's been a lot of fun, guys. I've had a lot of fun tonight. I appreciate y'all sticking around with me as long as you have. Oh, you had to have people that knew what they were doing. Okay. No, thank you. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, y'all have a good night. Y'all take care. And there'll be videos soon. Thank you.